Guts is the name of the album that we're reviewing today. This dropped
like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I think it's September 7th, maybe.
Okay. Let's go with early September.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to set the stage, Olivia Rodrigo had one prior studio album before this, and she kind of blew up on a couple of her singles. I think it was
Deja Vu, Good
For You, and Driver's License.
Yeah.
With Good For You being the biggest hit of those three.
I was going to say, that was the one that stood out to me. That one got a bunch of hype because Haley Williams helped her write it. Notably, she's had influences from Taylor Swift, from Gwen Stefani, all sorts of, a lot of like alt rock, or even like big time pop stars now. Really like putting names under her belt as like people that are supporting her music career, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah. So you want to talk about this holistically first, or you want to do song by song and then holistically at the end?
Let's do a little holistic and then get into it. Because I think this is interesting, right? And so what I just mentioned, where she's getting this influence from alt rockers, let's say, Gwen Stefani is a great example of this, where Gwen Stefani starts in No Doubt, and No Doubt starts as kind of like pop rock, alt rock group. Along the line, Gwen Stefani went more the pop route, which is, it's whatever. But, like, No Doubt was kind of a big-time alt-rock group in the 90s, which is sick. Again, a group we're going to cover next week, another similar thing where Paramore starts out as this pop-punk icon through the 2000s, early 2010s, and then kind of softens into a poppier scene. That's the kind of track I think we're looking at for Olivia Rodrigo here. But it's interesting, too. It's a little bit different because you could also look at her career in the context of Disney Channel actresses that have transitioned themselves into musical careers and kind of look at it that way, too. So in that category, you got Demi Lovato, you got
Selena Gomez,
you got Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Probably forgetting one or two others.
Miley Cyrus.
And other, like, Demi Lovato's probably a decent comp here, just because she does more of that rock stuff. And I guess Miley does too now. Like, I've seen Miley do covers of rock songs. She's got a little bit of that grit to her. So it's just interesting to see her break out. But that being said, given that she's 20 and still fairly well known for her Disney Channel like time or Disney Plus time, this is fairly aggressive music for being a Disney Channel pop star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little bit. I think for me, what's most impressive is the songwriting for her only being 20. Some of the songs, I kind of divide up this album into like two facets. Like one of them is like songs that if you're in her demographic, like if you're like a 20-year-old girl or around that age, you can probably relate to a lot of the stuff she's singing about. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's what music is, Right, it's not going to appeal to everyone.
Right.
And then the other half of this album are songs that I think anyone can relate to, which is like songs like The Grudge.
Yep.
And
Vampire, maybe.
Yeah, and Vampire. And there's a couple others where it's like, for her to write these songs at 20, and they can appeal to, in my opinion, anyone, it's super, super impressive.
Yeah, I was reading a Rolling Stones interview she did, and that was a cool thing she pointed out. They were asking her about her songwriting, and she goes, I think the most important part of songwriting is specificity, which kind of keys in on that point, because you could write, generic pop rock tune of the 2020s,
right,
and like you'd still be big, but to have the wherewithal to put that together and be like, no, I'm not just doing this for the money. Somebody can write this shit, and I'll get up on a mic and figure it out. Think Ariana Grande. It's really fucking cool. And she's styling her music, and she plays some stuff. She plays guitar. She plays
piano.
Yeah. She's not just some Disney Channel like drop in the hat. Like,
no, she's very musically talented.
Musically gifted.
Yeah.
Would I love to see like a full like a true rock band around her? Yes.
Yeah, dude. You kind of get that, and maybe this is a good transition into the first song off the album, All American Bitch. I think in this song you do kind of get a little bit of that rock pop rock vibe.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the verses, especially that first verse, is so like soft and stripped and
Yeah.
simple. Um, and then the choruses really kick in with like loud pop rock, which is like, and her voice is such a great compliment to the music. She's got the ability, and I'm not again like I'll keep bringing up this name just because it's in the same vein, but she's no Ariana Grande, but she's got a hell of a voice
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of that raspy quality to it. Like she can put some air under her voice, like a little bit of this, but like louder, you know. Um, she's got like dutiful, like intentional, like enunciation off words on some of her more emotional songs. It doesn't necessarily play out here because this song she's giving it like again mid energy through the verses. Then the chorus is really good high energy pop rock, loud electric guitar, thick drums, like borderline yelling on the mic. It's cool.
It is cool, and it's such a contrast later in the album when she has these slow, soft, like piano ballads. But yeah, this song is really cool, and she said about this song, you know, she's struggled with wanting to be this perfect American girl and the reality of not feeling like that all the time. And you can kind of hear that in the song. It's just a play on American culture and just being the perfect all American girl.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting here with this album, as we fade away from the holistic view, is there is maybe not so subtle hints at, like, it doesn't sound like she went to a traditional high school.
She's homeschooled.
Yeah. It sounds like she holds some sort of animosity or, not hatred. That's too strong a verb or adjective, but
Mm-hmm.
like bucking the system kind of feeling. Like, fuck high school, fuck this institution, what a crock of shit type deal. And so having like your like All-American as your opener kind of plays into that. You know, you got an All-American quarterback, you got All-American this, All-American bitch. It's a cool play on that idea right there.
Yeah, and this is a great opener for the album.
Oh, fantastic. I really don't think
There's no other song that would have done more justice.
This is the unabashed opener for this album.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely one I would check out if you're going to check out a couple songs off the album. And then after that, it gets into Bad Idea, Right? Which is a song. She said this was a song that started off as a joke about her hooking up with an ex-boyfriend. And then they're sitting around and she's like, oh, maybe I could write something about this. And then it kind of blossomed into that.
Art comes from somewhere. Yeah, no, this is an interesting song, too. This song has kind of gone, like, semi-viral on social media. I've seen it kind of floating around a little bit, just the little bits in between. But it's an interesting song, too. Kind of mid-high tempo, mid-high energy, poppy rock song again here. Poppy drums, thick bass line with a little bit of, like, low-tuned guitar in the verses. Energy picks up again through the chorus, full-sounding chorus. Like, the vocals through the chorus are kind of like this chanting, like a bit like Shinedown, where they do that, like they strip the music and just let Brent like yell at the crowd a little bit. Same kind of thing there. It's a little extra poppy for me, but I'm not going to knock the song as a whole. Yeah,
and I think what makes this album good is, one, it's personal to her, and two, she's good at. She has the wherewithal to know, like, yeah, like this is a bad idea, but like sometimes you just gotta not care.
Yeah, and I think that's a joke a lot of people have made with their friends.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, whether guys or girls, right? You're not gonna go hook up with her again, right?
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next song, I believe this was released as a single because it already has like over 250 million streams on Spotify.
Gotcha.
But this is Vampire, which is musically quite different from the first two songs off the album.
Yeah, this is let's call this the B-side of what, and not because it's a bad song, it's the B-side because you'll have these pop rock hits and then you'll have slow piano ballads throughout, and this is the opposite.
And this song changes it up throughout the song.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Sorry. Yeah, so this like starts as a pretty slow strip piano ballad. She's still making it work, but her energy's a little bit lower through the verse. It picks up into the chorus, and then the next verse is slightly higher than the first verse. Then you get into that second chorus, and the energy just kind of keeps pumping and pumping and pumping. And by the end, it's pretty like banging it through the end.
Right.
Loud poppy drums kind of added in. The vocals raise in level. The range gets a little bit higher as she raises the level. She's dripping like the ends of words off the mic. It's a cool track.
Yeah, and she said on this one she was upset about a situation, went to the studio alone, sat down at the grand piano, and the chords and melody and lyrics just poured out of her. Those are her words. Almost like an out-of-body experience. It's a song about feeling confused and hurt, which pours out in the lyrics as part of the chorus. The way you sold me for parts as you sunk your teeth into me. Oh, bloodsucker, fame fucker, bleeding me dry like a goddamn vampire.
See, that's what I was trying to get at when I was saying that it's a bit aggressive for Disney Channel pop star.
Right.
But I'll also go back to the women we mentioned already. Like, pretty much all of them really struck out hard when they were done, too. Like, think Miley Cyrus, like, right post Hannah Montana. Tough times, man. Demi Lovato, she had some other shit going on, but same kind of thing. Like, when they're done, they make a clean break, which is kind of interesting. But regardless, I don't think it's offensive necessarily. Like, you could say Miley Cyrus post Hannah Montana was offensive. This is not that. This is just like, fuck it, I'm being myself now, which is cool.
Yeah, and this is a very relatable song.
Yeah, I think so. Totally, 100%.
Yeah. So up next is Lacy. And this song, actually, the origins of the song were from a poem that she wrote for a college poetry class.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so the poem was called Lacy, and that's, kind of what the genesis of the song was.
Yeah, and this is another kind of softer song here. Simple stripped, kind of traveling, low-tuned guitar. The engineer did a cool thing here where there were bits throughout the song, not even in verses and choruses, where they layer her voice on top of itself. I thought that was really cool.
Okay.
That's always a really cool ad, but I think especially in a stripped-down song like this, it's a cool ad because it gives it some more fullness, some body to the track. Mid-tempo or mid-high tempo, kind of mid-energy. More of those airy vocals, kind of like what I was talking about a little bit earlier. Just a little bit more like, I don't know quite how to describe it, but it's cool. I think she just does a great job on the mic here. It's not like an awesome song to me, but I think she does a fantastic job on the mic.
Yeah, she's good on the mic. This might be my least favorite off the album. Just slower, not as relatable for me, but I'm not going to knock the song.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I have another note on the voice layering for another song on the album.
Cool.
But, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think this next track is very, very much No Doubt. This is Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. This is up-tempo, kind of pop rock, borderline pop punk track here. Loud, brash, in-your-face shit here. Kind of mid-level verses, but like thick, plucky guitar through. The verses are fairly generic. It's nothing crazy on the verses. But then again, like back to the choruses, she's yelling. The band's thrashing away. High-tuned guitar really picking up through the choruses. There's a lot of cool stuff musically here.
Yeah, this is one of the songs I was talking about at the top, where if you're in the demographic, like, call it 16 to 20 whatever year old girl, like, this is probably super relatable for you.
Yeah.
I mean, she does great work on the song. To your point, it's nothing crazy lyrically. Each day that I'm alive, it's social suicide. It's social suicide, want to curl up and die. But again, I think it's just relatable to people that are in that demographic.
Yeah, and I obviously this is for girls, about girls, but I don't think this is necessarily something that like a 15-year-old dude wouldn't be able to necessarily relate to. Not everybody's the high school quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of that same thing, right? So, it's a cool track. It's not for me. It's not something I'll ever get caught dead listening to again. But it's a cool track regardless.
I think I like it a little bit more than you. But she did say on this song, and just songwriting in general, if you speak honestly about any experience, then someone is going to find truth in it. And I think that line holds true to this album, and that's, I think, why it got such a high scores across the board.
Yeah, I feel you there. And I guess I want to clarify. I don't not like this song. I just think it's cringy for a 25-year-old white dude to be driving around listening to this.
Yeah, I mean, it would be funny if you got caught at the red light.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. So after that, it transitions into Making the Bed, which is a slower song. And Olivia said on this song, "You've made your bed, now lie in it," is an expression affirming the notion that one who makes bad decisions should be ready to suffer the consequences.
Right. Yeah. That's that's something I've used on occasion here and there. And that's definitely the vibe for the track here. Low tune kind of. And so from here on out, I think we got one more higher energy track.
Yeah.
Most of this is ballads and like slower songs on the way in. So we'll call this kind of a low tune ballad, mid tempo piano and keyboard kind of mixed throughout. You get these like thick, loud, popping, pounding drums, but like in a slow pace. Up and down through her levels and her range here. It's a bit soft for me, but again, not going to knock it. Like, good work.
Yeah, and some of the lyrics. "And every night I wake up from this one recurring dream where I'm driving through the city and the brakes go out on me. I can't stop at the red light. I can't swerve off the road. I read somewhere it's because my life feels so out of control." Again, I mean, it's just lyrically, it's raw. It's what she's going through at this point in her life, and that's what makes this album good.
Yeah, it's cool.
So after that is Logical, which is another slower ballad.
Yeah. And we'll call this like a stripped piano ballad here. It's just her and the piano getting after it. Good energy on the mic throughout. Kind of quick piano, but not like when I say quick, it's not like piano bar quick. It's very much more like kind of a bittersweet vibe quick. Fantastic range changes and enunciations on the mic here. Another song where she just kills it on the vocals. They give her a section later through the song, like after the piano's been bumping and bumping and bumping. They give her this section kind of towards the end where everything just cuts and it's just her on the mic, and she is fantastic again. Cool track.
Yeah, and she's exploring like the irrationality of love on this. Again, it's slower for me, but again, it's lyrically it's good.
I think
and her range is really good.
That's definitely one of the themes of the album here too, because you got songs like "Love Is Embarrassing," "The Grudge," "Pretty Isn't Pretty,"
even Vampire.
Yep. That's definitely one of the themes of the album too.
Yeah, for sure. So after that is kind of the last like upbeat, like pop punk rock, whatever you want to call it, song.
Yeah.
This is "Get 'Em Back."
Get 'Em Back. And this is like thick, low-tuned bumping keyboard, maybe synth, but I think it's keyboard. And a little bit of guitar, kind of like these buzzy Mean Girl vocals. I don't know quite how else to put that, but you'll know it when you hear it. Poppy rock sound through the chorus. Mid-high tempo, high energy. This is her "Fuck This Guy" anthem. That maybe, now she's got a couple now, but this is her big "Fuck This Guy" anthem.
It kind of changes up because in the first verse she's talking about how the guy's such a tool, but then the chorus and then I think the second verse they're like, "Oh, I still want to get him back." It's like I don't know. It's just like the pendulum, like damned if I do, damned if I don't.
That's something I struggle with in my head. Where like, dude, when I'm done with somebody, it doesn't necessarily have to be a girl, but like when I'm done with somebody, I'm just fucking done with them, man. But like, I watch other people deal with relationships, all sorts of different relationships, friendships, relationships, whatever. And I'm like, damn, just cut this person out. And I always think to myself, like, am I a bit too callous about this? Because I don't ever have this, like, do I, don't I? Like, once I know I'm done, I'm done, But until then, I'm fully in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really had an experience where I broke up with a girl or vice versa or whatever, and then like a week or two later, a month, I was like, oh, I really need to get her back. I'm kind of in agreement with you there. I think I've experienced like the reverse of that. Not to brag or anything, but
Yeah. This guy fucks. No, but even friendships, man. Like,
yeah,
like,
no, I know what you mean.
It's I just totally lost my train of thought, but fuck it anyways. You get my point. Yeah, I don't know, but that's definitely something she battles with throughout this album here too.
Yeah. So the next song is "Love Is Embarrassing," which she said on this one she wrote it 3 days before the album, and turned it in like super last minute. But this is one of her favorites off the album.
This is interesting because this is very like, I don't want to say raw again, but it's very like self-conscious and like,
I think raw is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, like the willingness to put this out there is kind of interesting because it's embarrassing to even like put these thoughts on paper, Like, holy shit, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did that. Like, but it's a cool concept for a song because again, this is very relatable. People do all sorts of shit. They're like, holy cow, I can't believe I simped for her.
Yeah, and so this song and the next one and even the one after that are all like, they're super relatable to like everyone goes through it at some point.
Yeah, and musically I don't have anything different for this song that I had for Logical. It's another stripped down ballad piano here, but still cool work.
Yeah.
No doubter.
So some of the rawness from the lyrics. God loves fucking embarrassing. Just watch as I crucify myself. For some weird second string loser who's not worth mentioning. My God loves embarrassing as hell. So, yeah.
Everybody's been there.
Yep. So the next song is The Grudge, which pretty self-explanatory song about someone who's wronged you, but it's super, super raw again. Some of the lines here. But you know I can't let it go. I've tried for so long. It takes strength to forgive, but I don't feel strong. And then later on in the song, she sings, "We both drew blood, but those cuts were never equal," which I think is a really cool line.
Damn. Yeah, that's hard hitting. Holy shit. Musically here, another strip piano track, kind of mid-tempo, lower energy, a little bit more like angry isn't the right word, but maybe upset, annoyed,
Sure.
emotion, like
Irritated,
and you can hear it in her voice. It's so good on the mic. Great enunciation, great emotion. Nice work here.
Yeah. Yeah. The next song is Pretty Isn't Pretty, which is essentially like a song about social media and, feeling insecure and just, feeling like you need to look like the models on Instagram.
Like me.
Yeah, like you. But musically, this one does have like I don't know, kind of like an 80s pop vibe maybe.
Yeah, I got like a poppy pop rock kind of vibe here. Mid-level, kind of mid-tempo. Lower level vocals in the verses pick up to like a full sounding mid-level chorus. Guitar, like a second, throughout you'll hear like a low tuned guitar, and then a second higher tuned guitar kind of picks up in the chorus to like fill the room a little bit. This song it's probably my least favorite on the album. But the fact that we're at 11 and like, this is the one where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be as relatable to you, but lyrically, this is raw, as raw as it gets. She opens the song with, "Bought a bunch of makeup, trying to cover up my face. I started to skip lunch, stopped eating cake on birthdays. I bought a new prescription to try and stay calm, because there's always something missing. There's always something in the mirror that I think looks wrong." Like that's probably as raw as it gets on the album.
Yeah, that's pretty out there, or not out there, but like.
But again, just to
pretty personal.
Like a lot of people, you might go through it, but to put it out there, like, hey, I'm going through this. Hopefully you can relate to it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something people can relate to. It's if I've heard this story once, I've heard it 1,000 times.
Right.
And then we close out with Teenage Dream. This is in the pantheon of fuck. I need a song title. Give me something, A&R man. And this is another one that's just not too crazy here. It's kind of this sad strip piano ballad again. Another one I didn't love necessarily, but this feels generic a little bit.
Well, I disagree a little bit. I think this closes out the album because one, the song is about like her growing up in the spotlight and how she's dealing with it, and just some of the lyrics back that up. When am I gonna stop being wise beyond my years and just start being wise? When am I gonna stop being a pretty young thing to guys? When am I gonna stop being great for my age and just start being good? When will it stop being cool to be quietly misunderstood? Like, just the fact that she's going through this, she's 20, she's been on the TV, and now she's into music. But just that she has, like, the self-awareness to know, like, some people are saying, like, yeah, like, oh, she's good, but, for being 20. And she's like, no, like, fuck you. That's not the case. Like, I'm just good. And I think that's pretty cool that she's aware of that.
Yeah, and back, let's round this out full circle here. Back to the Disney Channel pop stars that come out, or even let's throw Zendaya in this category too. It's not music, but she leaves Disney Channel and becomes a full-fledged movie star, model, actress type chick. You've seen a lot of these people struggle coming out of that life. You get cast into a certain role, especially when you're pretty young girl like that. It's you get kind of typecast in being what you are.
Sure.
Regardless of how much depth you have as a human, you are Hannah Montana.
Right.
And so for her to really like let it all out here and say, hey, listen, like I have so much more to me that's not like being shown. I don't know how else to show it except to put it on the 12th track of the album here.
Yeah.
It's a cool ad. And I really, really hope that, seeing the struggle those people go through, talking to those people, this is a better path for her than for the people before her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think she has the chance to be like fucking
massive.
Massive.
Yeah.
Harry Styles, massive.
Right.
And this is it. Regardless of what I think of this last track, I still think it's what you said. It's a cool way to round out the album and like just get her thoughts on the table.
Yeah, and it's funny when I first was reading some of the reviews and seeing that the album got like a 90 or 91 and the user scores are still pretty high. I was like, I had my doubts before I listened to the album. I was like, not like, I don't know, like the chances that this is good, because my impression was that she's just like a pop star.
Yeah, pop star. Good for you. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, but then when I listened to it, I was like, oh wow, like she's got the not only like the talent musically, but like the perspective of like knowing where she's at in her life and what she's dealing with. Like,
yeah, it's
really impressive.
Yeah, man. I'm I was thinking about it because I was driving down the road the other day and I was like, I saw a sign, Olivia Rodrigo coming to LCA. She's fucking going to LCA.
Yeah, what's funny? I looked at her website real quick too, and she's doing like the O2 Arena in London. Like she's huge already.
But I was thinking to myself, I was like, can me and Joey even go to this concert? Again, back to the cringy factor. But like I don't think
we'll bring my wife. We'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. But like it's not totally out of the realm of possibility, man. Like it's such like well-rounded, like encompassing music that she hits so many demographics
right
outside of what you would expect from her. And I think the first 6-7 tracks definitely hit her target audience, but there's a lot of other stuff in here that is so cool that like just anybody could listen to. It's I don't know if 90 is the right number out of 100, but it's a damn good album, man.
Yeah. And again, like, is the album good outside of how old she is? Yeah, of course. It's a good album. But the fact that she's only 20 to me, it does make it a little bit more, it's more impressive, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot, for sure. One anecdote I want to drop before we close this episode today.
Yeah.
So for her first album, she did a photo shoot where she was dressed up in kind of the theme of this old 70s movie. Famously, that Courtney Love had also done at one point.
Oh, really?
And so she posts this picture on Instagram from the photo shoot, and Courtney Love gets in the comments, and she's like, "No way!" Da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, Olivia Rodrigo's like in the comments with Courtney Love talking to her, and Courtney Love twists the script and goes sideways on her.
Oh.
And was like, "Oh, why are you copying me?" Da 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 da. Just put that as a notch, and another one is a Courtney Love is a total shitbag.
Yeah.
Because even after all that, the Rolling Stones interview she did, they asked her about it, and she was like, honestly, I can't believe Courtney Love knows who I am. Like, that's so sick. The rest of it, whatever. It's just is what it is. But the fact that Courtney Love knows who I am is fucking rocks.
Yeah, so I think we got Nirvana, obviously, then Foo Fighters, STP, and now Olivia Rodrigo. We got 4 interactions so far with Courtney Love.
Oh, yeah.
4 negative reactions.
Well, shitheads are as shitheads do, so.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Kurt. Free Kurt. Yeah, but anyways, that's all I got for this episode, man.
Cool. Well,